Hi there everyone, this is Neil from ratinghorses.com. Hope you're well. Today is Wednesday the 17th of August. As I speak, time is 12:44 p.m. Today is of course the first day of the York Ebor 4-day meeting, and today I'm going to go through the latter races of the York Ebor meeting, and in the search for hopefully a little bit of value. We've got a number of new members who've joined us over the last week or two, and if nothing else, I hope the way that I go through the ratings, this is my personal opinion, will help you along in your own selection process. Of course, everybody is different in the way that they the sort of thing they're looking for. Some people prefer to look for win bets with a high consistency strike rate. Others prefer to go for the bigger value each way selections, of course a lesser strike rate but hopefully more profit to be had. The way I use the horse ratings is to narrow down the field, then look at the key criteria, and then try and narrow down the field to hopefully 2 or 3 runners, and then my final port of call is to see if one of those horses is offering value, and if it's offering value, depending on the value and how much the horse is fancied, depends on the sort of stake I will be placing. So without further ado, let's get straight into business. So as you can see there, we're on our homepage, and if you've not yet signed up, this is going out to all members on our mailing list. It doesn't matter if you're a subscriber or a free tips member. This is a reminder that just add your name and email address and you will get free horse ratings sent to your email inbox each Sunday. Okay, without further ado, let's get straight into business. Let's find York. We're already on York there. As I say, time is now 12:47, so I'm going to start looking at some of the latter races. Okay, I think I'm going to stop at this one, the 4:45 at York. I do like handicap races with 8 or more runners. This has got 19, so we should be getting 4 places. Obviously, if you shop around, you will get more places. Some firms will be doing 5 places, some will be doing 6, possibly 7. So it's the 4:45 at York. 19, take the chances. Now there may be a couple of non-runners amongst this. I'm doing this completely live. I will then go to odds checker, so we'll see how things go. This is personally the way I narrow down the field and hopefully find a little value. As I say, you may well be looking for different things, but this is the way I look at a race, and hopefully you'll pick up a few tips along the way. So the first thing I can see is that if we look at the total rating, which is this column here, it's a very competitive race. On occasions you'll see races with a rating of over 20, and some bottom rated horse maybe have a score of 1 or 2. In maidens, maybe even 0. So there's only a score of 8 from top to bottom, which means obviously this race is going to be very competitive, of which we know because it's the York Ebor meeting, and basically every horse has got some sort of chance. What we'll see here on the draw is that there is a positive draw bias for low numbers. Now this is something that's been taken into account over the past few seasons, and we can see from stalls 1 to 6 there is a positive draw bias for low numbers, so we must bear that in mind. If we look here, we can see there's one course and distance winner, that is Ebor. There's many, virtually the whole field have won at today's distance of 5 furlongs, and International Girl has won at the course and the distance, but not together. So what that means is, yes, International Girl has won at the course, has won at York, and has won at the distance, but maybe not together. Okay, so it may well have done. It can be a little bit confusing, don't get me wrong, but Ebor has won at course and distance. Okay, so let's move across to the OF strategy. And again, competitive. We can see that vertiginous. I'm terrible with my pronunciation sometimes, bear with me. That has got a OF rating of 10.84. Corazon is second rated, joint second rated actually, with Eye Up It's Maggie. And then we've got Cuban Breeze at fourth, but there's not an awful lot in these scores. We can see that International Girl has a negative OFA strategy, which is key, and he's ranked 18 out of 19. Speed, pretty much similar to the top few actually. We got Anadora, that is second speed, and we've got Fast Response, that is third. Cuban Breeze is quite consistent on his key criteria. We move to the power rating, we can see that Gilded is top power rated, but again that rating is not extraordinary with a score of 45. Second rated is Pink Crystal with 38, and Cuban Breeze with 34, International Girl with 30. So just using these key criteria at the moment, I think we're going to build up a bit of a picture. I am going to ignore International Girl. For instance, got a negative OFS. I'm going to make a note of Cuban Breeze. Just make a note of the time of the race, 4:45 at York. Cuban Breeze. I'm also going to make a note of Fast Response, just because these key criteria are decent. I'm going to make a note of Gilded. I'm going to make a note of Anadora, although it's a poor power rating. That's two good figures, fairly good figures there, and it has a draw bias. I'm going to make a note of Eye Up It's Maggie, and I'm just going to quickly, I think that will, I will leave it at that in there. So there's 5 there on my short list. I may well be adding a few or taking a few away in a minute. Some of you might be saying, well, why are you adding Eye Up It's Maggie, which is 16th rated with a score of 10? Normally I wouldn't, but as I say, this race is very competitive. Although it is 7 off the top rated horse, that isn't massive in a very competitive race. Good draw bias, second on the OF, top speed and 5th power rating, so that is the reason. You have to build up an whole picture. It's no good just looking at one piece of individual criteria. Of course you can, indeed, following our top rated horses, we have just over a 32% strike rate if you're backing those blindly, but of course some of those would be short odds on, but you know, a return is available just backing the top rated horses. So let's move along and let's have a look at the OF, the official ratings. Cuban Breeze was the first one I made a note of. As we can see, 6 runs ago was off a mark of 77, has slowly risen up the rates. It was on 85 last time out where it won, and that has been put up an extra £4 today. But of course we can see that this horse is obviously in good form. And 85 wasn't enough to stop the horse last time out. There was a jump a couple of runs ago of £5, and again the horse put its head in front since, so maybe the handicapper isn't quite in the grip of Cuban Breeze yet, so we'll keep that one in. First Response, 6 runs ago was off a mark of 88, has steadily dropped down £4 to a mark of 84. Indeed, it was on a mark of 83 2 runs ago, was put up £1 for that second. Is now off a mark of 84, finished third last time out, is off the same mark, so maybe it's in the grip of the handicapper, but I will put a question mark over this horse for the simple reason it has got a poor draw, and of course there's not much time to manoeuvre a horse to a decent run over 5 furlongs. Gilded is the next horse. We could see off a mark of 97 last time out. Actually won off a mark of 97 2 runs before, and he's off 97 today. So again, nothing to put us off there. It is off a draw 10. So there is an opportunity to get over to the favourable side from there. So we'll keep that one. Anadora was off a mark of 91 6 runs ago, steadily dropped down to today's mark of 87. We can see that the highest this horse has ever won off before is 85, so it's £2 above its highest previous winning mark. 4 runs ago it was off a mark of 85 and it won. That was first time out that season. Not enough for me to negative this one yet. I'm going to go up to I Hope It's Maggie. 87 6 runs ago and has steadily dropped down to 83. As we can look at the form, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 5th. So the handicapper is giving this horse a bit of a chance. It's now off a mark of £2 lower than its previous high mark. And again, we must keep going back to the strong draw bias. So let's have a look at these horses' details. Cuban Breeze. No runs at the course. 5 from 21 over the distance, so that's very good. 24% strike rate, and 3 from 8 on today's going. Fast response. 22. Okay, Gilded. Just bear with me if I do start to mutter on a little bit. Gilded. 2 wins from 11 at the distance, no wins from 4 on the going. And for me, that I'm going to rub the Gilded out now because yeah, no wins over today's going. Anadora, 1 win from 5, no wins from 1, but not much data there, just the 1 run. And I Hope It's Maggie, 3 wins from 13 at the distance. Oh, again, but no wins from 5. No wins from 5. Okay, let's have a look at the 14-day stats for the trainer. Cuban Breeze, 18% strike rate. Cuban Breeze for the trainer there. Nigel Tinkler. Fast response, Kieran Burke, 22% strike rate. Anadora under Kevin Ryan, 13%. I Hope It's Maggie, Tony Cole. Just the 3 runs. No, so a couple of negatives there for I Hope Maggie, so we're going to dismiss that one. Just want to quickly start to build up a bit of a picture now of Anadora. Handicap has given it a bit of a chance. I'm going to scrub that as well, just because the power rating isn't great. There are of course a few positives. Fast response, I nearly crossed that out before, so I'm just going to go through the data. Fast response. No, the draw bias there is obviously very negative, and there's a couple of question marks. So we're just going to use the Cuban Breeze. 3rd overall rated, 9 is the draw, so you could argue it's going to could get over to the favourable side. Is in form, distance winner. 3rd on the power rating, positive OF strategy. has gone up obviously in the weights, and is now £4 higher, sorry, than its last run, but has jumped 4 or 5 pounds in the past and still been ahead of the handicapper. You could argue it's still above the handicapper. Ryan Moore is on board. No wins at the course, never run at the course before, but 5 from 21 at the distance, which is a good strike rate, and 3 from 8 on the going. So I've narrowed down this field from 19 to an original, was it 5 or 6? 5. And for me, 4 of those have got far too many negatives, and I'm left with 1. So the only thing now to check up on is to see if this horse is offering value. And the way I do this is I look at these 2 columns here, columns AB and AC, and I'll quickly tell you what these are all about. Now, when the ratings were collated, which is the evening before racing, they're usually done around 6:45 to 7 o'clock the evening before racing, and then they sent over to you. At that time, when the ratings were collated, 7 o'clock on a Tuesday evening, this horse was available at 8 to 1. Okay, our odds suggest for this horse to be offering value should be around 10 to 1. Okay, so a little bit bigger in price. So that means it's not particularly, according to all our ratings and data, this horse is nearly there, but not quite offering us value. Forecast at 8 to 1, our odds suggest for this horse to be considered to be backed should be around 10 to 1. So now we're going to go over to Odds Checker and see what the live prices are. Okay, so let's go over to Odds Checker. We're looking for the 445 at York. And this is when we hope we haven't found a non-runner. No, we haven't. So, okay. Cuban Breeze, best price available, 7 to 1, bet 365. Forecast 8 to 1, our odds. Okay, so there's positives and negatives here. And the positives are that from last night's price of 8 to 1, there's been money throughout the night and through the morning, where this horse has been backed into a best price of 7 to 1, but it's mainly 6 to 1, 13 to 2, and we can see Bet Victor are going 11 to 2, even shorter. So there has been money for this horse, which is obviously a good thing. It's fancied by connections and others. That is a positive. The negative, of course, means that, as I say, our odds suggest this horse to be offering value should be around the 10 to 1 mark. Last night at 8 to 1, it wasn't quite offering that, and it's now offering less value at best price of 7 to 1. Now that is a negative because we're not getting the value that we believe this horse should be giving us. But the positive is, of course, is that there has been money for the horse. What I will be doing here is having a small each way bet on this horse, but at small stakes, because I really do like my selections to be offering good value. Okay, my regulars will know that the only way you will win, this is my personal thoughts, the only way you will win long term is to find that edge on the bookmaker and find that value. This horse on this occasion is not offering us value according to our odds, but of course if it goes and wins, then everybody's happy. So a small each way bet in the 445 at York, Cuban Breeze. I would be having a larger stake if our horse was offering us closer to value, but again, on the other side of the coin, there has been money, which is a positive as well. So that's the way I look at narrowing down a field, and then I look for value, which is the final port of call. And I hope you've picked up a few tips along the way. And whatever you're on today, have great fun. The very best of luck to you. If you have success using the ratings, please let us know. Email us via our website, or contact me via neil@ratinghorses.com. So finally, 445 at York, Cuban Breeze, a small each way bet I shall be having on that horse. The very best of luck to you. I'll speak to you very, very soon. Have a great day. Take care. Stay safe.